us ladies, we link up, we go brunches, but the man them actually link up, kick ball, they link up doing this. The first thing a girl would do is cancel anything to do with fitness. Like, I'm being tested in my boxer size class. My girls were like, oh, I can't make it. But if I ask my brother or anyone, oh, are you available on Tuesday? Nah, I got football, you know. Like, it's not gonna move. So I was just like, us girls, we need to prioritize our fitness. We need to prioritize sports a bit more. So I'm kind of reintroducing it and creating that roadmap. And it's just like, whatever you want to do with it, do with it.
Guys, welcome to the Bread and Butter podcast. You're here with me, Tayo, and
myself, E-Man.
Come on, and we've got a special guest in the building.
No. Listen, we've got the celebrity to the celebrities.
Yeah,
None of them ones there.
Oh, don't do that.
Celebrity to the celebrities.
We've got the influencer of the influencers.
Come on.
Lord.
Come on, we got Priscilla Anyabu in the building.
Come on.
Welcome. I said that right, innit? Anyabu,
yeah, very impressive. Yes,
come
you
on,
got
man.
it.
I'm African. You already know.
I don't mean nothing.
Speaking about Africa, I'm going to go into something which is a little bit of a... People would expect me to go into it, but one thing I clocked here, you're Ugandan, right?
Yeah.
You guys have got a very strong community here. Am I right?
We do. We're small, but we're powerful.
Yeah, like proper. And you guys like link up. You all know each other. You pull each other up. Where do you think that comes from? Because you don't know each other from like Uganda, do you?
No, I think it's for so many years we've never really existed. We've never really had that community. So as soon as you see one, you're just like, you know that Spider-Man picture, like you, yeah, that meme. You're like, right, you exist. So yeah, I think we gravitate to that, like just to want to create a community because there wasn't one for so long outside of your family.
You know what's so mad is that your name's Priscilla. I just thought you were Ghanaian.
Everyone
I just
does.
think your name's Priscilla, you must be Ghanaian. Every person that I know called Priscilla is Ghanaian.
It's true. They love a Priscilla.
They love a Priscilla. Yeah. Like, so how is it for you? Like, do you feel like you have to represent your community like everywhere you go, or do you just like, I'm doing me, it doesn't matter what no one else says?
I think I'm doing me. It's a trick question, actually. I think I'm doing me, but naturally being surrounded by a lot of West Africans.
Yes, facts.
And I've embraced that, like, Ghanaian culture is so strong. Like, my best friend, my bestest friends are Ghanaian. And I love Ghanaians. I love the culture. I love everything about it. But I think I did get to a place where as much as I'm embracing other people's culture, I also need to shout about mine. Yeah. So it's, when I'm doing me, I also need to hail up Uganda.
That's
big.
It makes sense.
We normally ask you what's your bread and butter, but I don't know if we've got time for you to list all the different ways you make money, because you are like, you know they say your average millionaire has 7 streams of income. What?
Priscilla knows already. Every time I see you, I say, again?
Every time I see you, I said, there's a new thing you're doing. I said, wow. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Come on, but try for us. Try small. Give us try small.
The main.
What is your bread and butter? What is it that you do?
My main thing that I do right now is presenting. Okay. So my main bread and butter is presenting, and I currently have a show on Sky Sports called Are Playaz Too.
Come on.
I know, but you're right about that. Like I got a voice note the other day from someone, and I even had to like record it because they're just like, they said one thing about you, you're gonna do something. And I'm like a cat with 9 lives. I've done everything.
Yeah, literally. You already know that. Whenever I see you out, I'm like, Priscilla, again? Booked and busy, for real. But I guess we can even, because you mentioned it already, we can even go into your latest project and kind of like work backwards from there. Okay. So you're presenting on a show on Sky Sports, Are Playaz Too. Mm-hmm. Massive congrats on that.
Big congrats.
That's amazing.
That's a big congrats.
That's amazing. Talk to us about how that came about.
My friend sends me a bunch of things on WhatsApp, right? And he sent me through this thing called the Sky Sports Focus Fund, where they're trying to help like propel creatives, diverse creatives. And I sent it over to one of my director friends called Nelson, because I was like, this is Sky Sports. Like,
big up Nelson, that's my guy.
Yeah, love him. And I was like, there's nothing I'm going to do with this. Like, here, Nelson, let me like give you the ball. And he was like, what would you do? And I was like, I used to do sports. I dropped out. So something around like women dropping out of sports. I was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, let's just do it. Got on a call, brainstormed, put the whole idea, put the pitch together. He did the application, sent it off. And he came back and was like, yeah, we're successful. I was like, what? was like, yeah. So yeah, we got successful. Our idea got chosen. We had to do like a 12-week program where they proper develop us, talk about advertising, regulations, health and safety, all of that jazz. And then after that, we got commissioned and we shot our pilot.
Crazy.
You know what's mad? So talk to me about your friendship group then, because sometimes it is just having the right people around you. Because like you said, you wasn't even thinking about it. You're like, I've seen this opportunity. It's not for me, but I've got a friend. Let me send it to them. And before you know, you've got something. How important it is, because obviously we'll go into your story and everything like that, but you've obviously grown up with a group of friends from school and so forth. Then you've blown, but now you've got industry friends. And how have you managed to circulate that? Because sometimes that can be a problem for people, is the different friendship groups and staying true to your loyal friends from back in the day and having new friends. And how have you managed to navigate that?
So a lot of my closest immediate friends are my friends from school or very early on. Like all of my plus ones, my plus twos, like they are my ride or dies that I've been riding with. And the thing I love about my friends is, I don't want this to sound wrong, but it'll just make you understand. It's like everybody knows their place and they know their position. I think, that's the best way to say it. Everybody knows their position. Like they know that when I'm going around whatever they're doing, like they're the main person. Like I'm just Priscilla, your G. And when they know they're coming around me, they know they're supporting Priscilla, who, quotation marks, is the celebrity, is the presenter, is the whatever. And I think we know when, like, I'm never gonna act bougie around them. Like I get down to earth. Like sports day for my godson, I was running with I did the parents race, everything. Like we get stuck in. So I think it's still having that understanding and knowing your position. And also, it's when I go and do these things and I can't come for you or I can't support you, it's not because I don't want to. It's just simply because I'm working. So that's good. And when it comes to the industry side of it, it's really weird. I know a lot of people, but I always say, like, I don't have that many industry friends or maybe girlfriends. I feel like the boys are my bros. Yeah. But when you look, like, there's a lot of, like, industry cliques and I don't fall into them. I feel like my girls are my girls, but in that grand scheme of things, maybe that's why I've never really been messy or I've never really been caught up in wahala. Because
I was gonna say, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It might be a good thing.
Because like my girls are my girls. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and it's good because even with that, you'll still see them and be cool with them, but they're not like, it doesn't have to develop into.
I think I'm
further.
a great networker. That's what it is. So I know how to build relationships, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I have friends like that.
Yeah,
there's very few.
Yeah, but on just doubling up on what Iman said, so you sent it to a friend who's a producer, submitted the application for you. Like, it's crazy because that sort of friendship group is what people like cherish, like people that champion you. Like people don't understand how important that is, because there's so many people that might send it to someone in their circle and it's like, nah, I think you're right. It's not,
there's nothing wrong.
There's nothing going on. Yeah, you can't do it. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think that it's super important to kind of like understand that having those circles are like, it could be transformational for your business.
Absolutely. But I would call that community. That's what it is. It's having the right community around you, like same level head. Like I have my girl Fee at the moment. She's always like, Pris, we need to plan for your, like, not even me, like we'll just be chilling there and then she'll be like, we need to plan for your 2025. Like we need to, and I'm like, okay. But it's just people that hold you accountable and wants the best for you. Like the same way Nelson was like, no, like, I think you should do this. Like, do it. It's just, having people that want to see you succeed as much as they want to succeed. Yeah. And it's not a competition. It's literally, let's all just get this bag together.
Absolutely. Let's get into it a bit further then. So, for the people that don't really know how it works, you submitted the pilot to Sky Sports. And what have they come back and said, basically?
So it's not even the pilot. We had to submit a pitch deck.
Okay, cool.
So the deck is basically what we want to do, why we want to do it, and how we're going to do it. The whole story. They've pretty much come back and said, this is great. We like the idea. They send us through this 12-week program where we learn more things, more technical stuff. And then we have to pitch again. So this is now a deeper brief, like the real story, like the actual what are they going to give us the money for? So then that's when because before I was just like, oh, I'll have a co-host who's potentially this, and this is what we want to talk about. But now we're like, this is the actual story. This is the actual breakdown. This is the locations we're going to go to and use. And then they're like, okay, great. But so one of my things that I had at the beginning was I put a bunch of names down in the co-host, and they came back and said, I don't even know if I can say this. Basically, that my co-hosts were too pretty.
Mental.
They literally said, and in my head, I'm just like, is it my fault I know pretty people? But they literally was just like, we want people that's more relatable to a larger audience.
I get what they're saying.
And if you have like the prettier people per se, then because I had people like Leomi, she's a bloody supermodel, you get what I mean? So it's like a supermodel doing sports. They were just like, let's make this relatable. And I'm just like, but I know her, we're cool. Like I can get her kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? And now you're making me put in the work, but I get it. They just want to make sure that the show kind of does its best and is relatable as possible. And with that, it opened up my horizons, and we reached out to Harriet Rose, and she's absolutely amazing. I think she's stunning as well. So not to take away from Harriet Rose, but I think she's stunning. And yeah, it made a greater show and greater storyline.
Did you know Harriet beforehand?
No.
So what was it like working with someone on a new show that you met for the first time?
Do you know what? Surprisingly, really good. And good because she's already a presenter, right? Everyone who I listed before, they weren't presenters. They were just people that I know have been in the industry and I get along with.
Yeah.
But she put me on my toes in a sense where I looked at her and I was like, damn, you're good. Like the way she's having conversations, I'm like, I need to step up because I want to be like that. So it was good pressure. Yeah. Really good pressure. And her energy, like as soon as you meet her, she's so welcoming. She's easy to get on with. It was a breeze.
You realize it's a skill, right? It's not just like, I'm presenter. It's just a title. Like actually, there's a skill to being a presenter and holding your own and getting the pace of the show and making sure people are responding and getting the best out of the people that you're interviewing and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to jump into something in that period as well. So obviously, you're massive before this guy's show has come about.
It's not like you need it.
Yeah. So, when people see this, it's like, how greedy.
Yeah.
But you've gone through this period where you've had like 12 weeks kind of like getting to know how things work. And how many days did you shoot?
Oh, so we shot across, I think it was actually across 3 months because of people's schedules. But we did about, I think it was 5 locations. Okay. 5 separate locations.
So we're not looking for the amounts, but I want to understand how much of it is paid because you're already booked and busy. So is the 12 weeks paid?
No.
So this is the thing. And I think this is something that Iman and I often talk about. And it's kind of something we've been talking about previously, but I want to get you to kind of say it. What made you, someone who is booked a lot and paid a lot anyway, say that I'm not going to be paid for 12 weeks to take this on?
You got to make that investment. I can't lie, because in those 12 weeks, I was sat there thinking this could have been a Zoom.
I know that.
I'm like, I know this. Like, I actually know this. Like, I've been on live sets. I know what I'm doing. This could have been a Zoom. But it's just about literally investing in yourself in order to get to that bigger picture, because although I did know everything, those moments are priceless. There's nothing bad about. I'm like, you can never not learn. Like you never know everything. So there's certain things that I did take away from that. But as you said, for someone that's already in the industry, giving 12 weeks of your time is hard, but you've got to weigh up and think, is it worthwhile? Should I invest in myself? Should I do this? Is the greater project going to be worth those 12 weeks? And yes, absolutely. Yeah. So why not? Even though they were tired, I was falling asleep, boy.
Absolutely. No, that's sick, man. And now the show's out. Amazing. And
the premise of the show, though, talk to us about the show itself? What obviously what you can tell us and what you can't tell us.
Of course. Well, the name is provocative for a reason, Girls Are Playaz Too. But it's literally about women in sports, and it's encouraging them to get fit. The main thing, the reason why we did this is because I got back into the gym and I was like, I don't actually move. Like, us ladies, we link up, we go brunches, but the man them actually link up, kick ball, they link up, go play pad, they link up doing this. The first thing a girl would do is cancel anything to do with fitness. Like, I'm being tested in my boxer size class. My girls were like, oh, I can't make it. But if I ask my brother or anyone, oh, are you available on Tuesday? Nah, I got football, like, it's not gonna move. So I was just like, us girls, we need to prioritize our fitness. We need to prioritize sports a bit more. So I'm kind of reintroducing it as a hobby, as a amateur, and as a professional, and creating that roadmap. And it's just like, whatever you want to do with it, do with it.
Sick. And like, did you? Because obviously, I understand why Sky want to do it because it hits more things. It's social. Did you see yourself getting into this actual, like, we talk about influencers, but like that's more like a role model now. Like, they're actually young people that are now going to look up to you and say, I'm going to do this because Priscilla's doing this. I'm going to follow your suit. Like, that's legacy. How do you feel about that?
I genuinely love it, and it's so heartwarming. Because the one thing that I've seen, because I go back to my secondary school. So my secondary school was a sports school. So I was like gifted and talented for PE. So that's why it actually resonated, because I was actually about it. Like, when I was younger, I used to do high jump. And it's the parents watching it with their daughters, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want my daughter to do this. Or one of my girls, she was watching it with her daughter and her son, and they were glued to the TV and just like, oh, I want to try boxing now. I want to try these things. So, and it's just putting that question in their head, like, is my daughter working out? Is my daughter at this age where she's not as fit as she should be, or she neglecting sports? So all of that is special for me. But yeah, so it's nice. It is a legacy thing, and it's a realm that I want to stay in. I think when I started it, a lot of people was probably thinking, why is she doing sports? Like, this don't make sense. It's another one. But yeah, I'm doing everything, man.
I mean, how many Get Ready with me can you do? Like,
come on,
let's try something. Come on, let's try something new now.
Literally. So let's take it back to the beginning. So you're presenting today, right? When you were in, let's say, school, did you have an interest in being in front of the camera, or did that come about later?
I was a dancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's something in being a dancer. I always say that I feel like if you have the ability, this is what I feel. Because I actually went to drama school when I was younger.
Ooh,
yeah,
check you out.
Only for like 2 years. Dance, singing, and drama, I think. Yeah. But I often say that at a young age, if you've got the confidence to dance in front of people, it's that confidence can stay with you for life. Like, like apart from the dance and the fitness, it builds an element of confidence. Would you say the same?
Yeah. I think if you see dancers' attitudes and presence, you know they're in a room. Because just think about it, yeah. Even like if you go to a club or any event, yeah, a dancer doesn't care where they are. They will be 5, 6, 7, 8 in the middle of the room. They don't care how many eyes, how many people are moving. Audacious. They're going to do their. It's actually
it's audacious.
Audacity.
Dancing bare early as well, like before midnight, like just dancing.
But even like let them hear music on the train. They'll be on the train doing them 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it okay?
Moving. So no, you are right. There is a level of confidence as well as carefreeness that comes to that.
Yeah. Super important. So, at what point did you realize, or you went through school as a dancer? When you came out, did you go to university?
Yeah.
Okay, what uni did you go to?
Brunel.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Brunel, at them times there as well. Brunel was at the start of uni as well. What did you study in uni?
Business management.
Okay, cool. And you came out of uni, did you get a job or did you?
I went to Metro Bank.
Okay.
Come on.
Because I get
come on like that.
One of us finance. Come on.
I know, every time I say I did banking, everyone's like, what? You do banking? But I basically gave myself a year. I was like, I'm going to get into banking because I was modelling. Okay. So I was like, let me see if this modelling thing's going to work. I'm going to go to a bank. It'll be 9 to 5. I can model on the weekends. dumb decision. Metro Bank is 7 days a week. It was 7
Oh, yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
to 7 p.m. I was like, out of all the jobs.
The American man, you know they go crazy.
Man, bring
they
your
love
dog.
work.
When I said bring your dog to work, I said, wow.
Bring your doggy treats and
Doggy
water.
treats, they're the little. I said, no.
Yeah.
And you know these American firms, if they can tell that you don't if they get a whiff of the fact that you don't love work, they'll be on you. They want you to love it.
Oh my gosh.
They're peak.
Honestly, the way they used to get around their overtime, they used to call it good behaviors.
Crazy.
Yeah, they would just be like, oh no, don't, if you stayed over, you'd be like, okay, could you add like an hour to, they'll say, no, it's demonstrating good behaviors.
Wow.
Yeah.
crazy.
I said, no, my behavior ended.
I don't have good behavior.
Add that 1 hour.
It's crazy. Like even when I was in banking and the American law, you can't really let them know that you left at like 5:30. Like they won't get it. Like they've gone already.
Nah, yeah. I mean, even like just working, like when I worked in like Barclays, when I went to other banks, I realized that they're not serious. Like,
yeah.
Barclays is a serious bank. Like when I went to Halifax, that was like the lightest. But like Halifax is like, I don't know how to compare it. It's like they care. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they care. Like Halifax is you there. You've got the work benefits. They talk to you.
Yeah.
Like you see Barclays, yeah. If you don't put in the work and sell, no one even wants to hear your name. Don't even
Did
breathe.
you have targets?
Oh, targets upon not only do you have targets, the target was on the board. Not only do you have targets, they will email daily to let you know who's on track, who's not on track. Barclays, when I went to Halifax, I was like, is this your lot's targets? this is what we had to do in a day. You don't have to do in a week. It's unbelievable.
See, Metro Bank, we got lucky because they always they said they're like a store. So we just had a mystery shopper that we had to make sure we impressed. But outside of that, we didn't have targets.
Amazing.
So I loved it. Just come in. But I'm generally good customer service anyway. Treat people how you want to be treated. So
Yeah, I love that.
it was like, and yeah, they give you benefits. I had one big Joe Malone thing for for getting the mystery shopper right. I said, oh,
They love all these gimmicks. I swear Metro Bank has got a drive-through in the UK.
they're
Drive-through bank. It's mental.
Yes.
They love all that kind of stuff.
It's mental here, but when I went to LA,
It makes sense though.
even pharmacy, you can do anything, and you don't need to get out of your car for anything. You can just drive through everything. It's mad.
That's true.
So what was next? So you did Metro Bank, then what happened?
And then my body hated it. Like,
imagine.
yeah, no, honestly, because I think I'm a natural like entertainer. So I started failing like in bank, and it was crazy. Like they put me on report, everything, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they'll sit me down and I'll be like, "Talk us through the process," and I'll get the process like spotless. They're like, "You know what you're doing," but when I just go into autopilot, I just didn't want to be there. And then a lovely saint came called Mr Eazi. He's an amazing Afrobeats artist.
You know, artist,
oh yeah. Okay, cool.
And,
So-
and a tech founder as well now.
yeah. So he came along, a good friend of mine. So I knew him because I had actually been in his music video
Okay.
as a model. And my friend Nigel Boy, Sick DJ, was one of his DJs. So they needed help once because he had a pop-up, Lagos to London.
Yes.
And I was available. I was like, of course I'm going to help you guys out. Just doing some work. The next day again, luckily these are my 2 days of off work, right? Fortunately. So they just needed someone to run around, like, because he had merch. He was like, get some merch, take it to them at the radio station. And I was like, that's a lie. I got my car. He was in Kings Road. I'm in Battersea. I was like, yeah, that's easy. Boom, boom, boom. After the 2 days, on the third day, they was like, oh, yeah, come over to the house. I came over to the house. I was like, we think you're amazing. We want you to join the team. I was like, what? I was like, I walked to Metro Bank the next day. I said, I'm leaving. See ya. So I joined Mr Eazi's team. I was his executive assistant. And then after he's executive assistant, he had something called Empower Africa. So I became the operations manager for that.
Crazy.
My goodness.
Let's talk about that transition because that's a big transition. I know in hindsight it sounds simple, but a lot of us have got like a stable job that we may not like, and sometimes there's another opportunity, and sometimes it depends on who's presenting the opportunity as well. Because you don't want to leave your so-called stable job, even though you're not happy at, for someone else's business who they're giving up on the business in 2 weeks' time. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's true.
So, like, what was like your thoughts around that? What made you say that? Yeah, I'm going to do this.
I think my first thought was, I'm already failing. How bad could it be? Let me just go and find happiness. Because when I was doing it, I was just for those 2 days, I was like, I love this. I'm in music, I'm in entertainment. And then I was just thinking about women in music. Like, this is so fantastic. And I was like, let me go for it. Bearing in mind, when I was taking the job, it was less than what I was being paid.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I was just like, am I going to stay here and be miserable, or go and do something that I really enjoy? And I could see myself just moving up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let me bet on myself. Let me go do that. And at the time, it was also, I was just an assistant. But what was crazy about that whole thing is it was also a very humbling experience, because remember, I've met him as a model. Like, I know him because I'm in the industry too. Now I'm coming underneath you, like I'm below you, like I have to report to you and do assistant. Like, sometimes I had to sit there. Like, there was one thing I had, it was so sweet though. I had to go pick up a gift for his girlfriend. And when I was just going to get this gift, I was thinking, do you know who I am? And you're sending me to get this gift. Like, just one of those things. But then it's just like, it's part of your journey. And yeah, in the end, I'm grateful that I was able to have that experience. And then when the Empower Africa like really got kicking, I was specifically on a project called Empower 100, and he funded 100 music videos for 100 African artists.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah, and then did a 2-week state of the art music camp in Stellenbosch, South Africa. And that was just like that. People had like Diplo, Ray, Guilty Beats, King Promise, like so many people. And in that, for one, some of these people didn't even have money to do music videos. So that was amazing. And we had to even get some of them studio time. And then the camp, I remember we had to do visas and passports. Some people had never, ever left their country.
Yeah.
So it was just really rewarding afterwards when they're just like, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really like a self-fulfilling job. But dealing with 100 artists, I don't recommend. Or
I can imagine. I can imagine. I heard that business is crazy.
one artist is like a child already. So imagine having 100.
Yeah. That's crazy though. So you kind of worked your way up in that business, having left a stable job. Just back on that transition, what was your living situation at the time?
Living at home with my mum.
So do you feel like that, and the reason why I'm asking the question is for some people at home that may be living at home with their mum or parents and thinking about taking a risk. Do you feel like that helped facilitate you chasing your dream?
Absolutely. I had that safety net. I think if I had to think about rent like that, I might have been like, hey, please up this price, or I have to stay where I'm at, or go do something that might have been a bit more boring but safer. So I think, yeah, being at home definitely gave me a safety net and allowed me to kind of take that leap of faith.
Yeah, and also you're getting paid less, innit? So it's not that you got the safety net, but you are getting less money. So it's kind of like if Metro Bank was paying you 2K and then with your new role you're getting paid 1K, it might mean that you're going to less restaurants and
I remember this is less
holidays.
Money but more work.
Yeah, less money but more work.
Much
more work.
But it doesn't feel like work as much because you enjoy what you're doing, right?
I enjoy it, but when you're an assistant, you've got to be up before them and go to sleep after them, because you need to be ready if they need anything. If they're traveling anywhere, you just got to be ready to provide and deliver.
Yeah.
And when you're working with a musical genius like Eazi, anything can come at any time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's just like, be ready. So as much as you love it, you still need to deliver. So you can the stress is real.
But that's the important part, because he probably wouldn't have promoted you if you had, like, as much as you knew your worth and knew your value, and like we all have it. Like I've worked at, I remember when I was contracting and I was doing my thing on socials, and I had a boss, and the boss was, I was thinking, do you know who I am? Like,
Yeah.
like, and then like, but I realized I can't say anything, like, because right at where I'm at right now, or where I'm gonna get to be, when my show on Channel 4 came out, my boss, the same person that was talking, after that day talked to me different. And not only that, talked to me different.
Nicely.
Not only talked to me different, after that they're like, how am I gonna manage you? You know, it's like that. It was like,
Yeah.
bro, I just watched you on Channel 4 yesterday, and now you're sitting next to me at work. Like, I realized I couldn't even have a job. Like, it made everybody felt uncomfortable. And it's like, when you're on that journey, there comes that time where you have to humble yourself and know, okay, this is part of the process. But I'm still gonna give it my all, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have then got the promotion to operations manager.
Yeah.
So you still had the work ethic to take you there. So you do the operations manager. What happens next after that?
Love Island calls.
calls? No, apply. You didn't apply. They come for you.
Yeah, I didn't apply. I went to bikini. I went to Miami for my girl's birthday. Took bikini pictures, and they slid into my DMs.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Literally, and I was like, "Huh, what's this?" Because the normal Love Island had already happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What kind of show are they talking about?" So they just asked, "Oh, we have a show in mind. Can we have a chat?" So I was like, "Okay, let me just see." Then they tell me Love Island, the first winter edition, and I was like, First things first, I was like, I need to go to my brother, because if I'm going to be in a bikini, potentially lip sync man, I need his cosign, because please. And he was cool with it. But yeah, it was like a little process of, you have the phone call, and then they invite you down. You have the in-person interview, then you have the executive producer interview, and then I think it was like 3 interviews. But usually this can happen in like a period of 3 months. Mine happened in like a period of 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. As soon as I came back from that first interview, they was like, "Can you come back tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I can come back tomorrow."
They fast tracked you.
They fast tracked me. I was like, "Right, you lot really know what you want." But yeah, so it was good.
That's crazy. It's so funny because it feels so long ago that I didn't know it was winter edition. First of all,
Yeah.
So when you said original Love Island, I was like,
I thought you wasn't.
yeah, I thought you was on the original
Love
one.
Island, yeah.
Because like from memory, that's like one of the main Love Island seasons. I'm sure many people say that. So you done Love Island now. Did you, in preparation for it, is there anything that you did? Now I'll tell you where that question is coming from. Nowadays, if a new season of Love Island comes, people are like, "Oh, launch their podcast just before. They'll create their clothing line just before. They'll know what they want to kind of get out of it." But I guess Love Island back then, it wasn't even like that, basically. Did you have any kind of like game plan, or was it kind of just like, "Do you know, I'm going to go out there and show the people who I am"?
Yeah, so my main thing is I had prep, but I didn't have prep like that. So I obviously had a manager who I actually worked with through Mr Eazi.
Okay.
Miriam. She was amazing. So she's originally a stylist, so she just helped take me through the whole process. And then she had an agency, so she was like, "Should we just do this together?" I was like, "Of course, let's do this together." But my main things was, because back in the days, black girls were always getting ridiculed for their hair. So my prep was, and I'm like, in real life, my hair slaps. So I'm not gonna go on TV now and embarrass myself. So I did like hair lace tests, flash tests, to make sure I was proper. I got makeup lessons, because I didn't do makeup like that before. So I got makeup lessons to make sure. And my makeup artist, Dolly, she was absolutely amazing. She was just like, "Girl, take a darker foundation in, because you're going to tan." So it was more like physical prep that I did. And then in terms of like my page, building up to it, my manager was just like, certain pictures I started taking, like, do like more influencer-ish kind of pictures. So that's what I did. And then I actually didn't quit my job until the day before I flew out. Yeah.
Right. So who was me and Lover? I just know the black people. Unfortunately, okay. And Molly May. That's the only two. That's all I know. That's all I know. Who was on your season of Love Island?
I had Mike, obviously, because that's who I was with. The twins, Jess and Eve.
Blonde girls.
Okay.
Shauna. Congrats, hun.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that clip.
Yeah, Shanice, all you do is yappa. No. The thing is, Michael Dapper, Shanice. No, you don't remember. Oh, that was really bad. Okay. We had the 2 Lukes, the one that looked like Justin Bieber.
I remember.
Yeah, and Ched, real big guy, Tonk.
Oh,
Dench.
Ched, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just trading.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Naz. You probably remember
Naz.
Yeah, Naz was.
And Naz was with the other girl.
Eva. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I don't know.
From your season, like, how did you find it? Because I know, like, there's always these things of like being a black girl and then going into it. Like, obviously, you were a model before. You already knew you were pretty, but when you go on these shows,
it's different.
Talk to me, because it's like when I watch it, yeah. Like I said, I only really watch the black people in there. Like when I see who I'm like, no, this is good. Like, you're good. Like, you're beautiful. Like, thank God. Like, do you know what I mean? They've picked a good one here.
Yeah.
Then when you hear the reaction, it's like, why does this happen? And then like when I watch like I don't know, when I watch like I've been watching a lot more like Nigerian programs, and I look at certain girls and they're like, "You're so beautiful," and it's like because their standard is compared to themselves, and I feel like a lot of the time when you go on these shows, because you're comparing it to other people from other ethnic groups, it makes it difficult. How did you find it? Because you must have been already confident. You know yourself. You've been a model. You've been doing this thing for long.
Yeah, going in there, I wasn't though. I can't lie. I had like I remember I was in my car. I shouldn't say it, but yeah. So I stopped in my car and I went on my phone, and I think they announced the starting lineup. And in that starting lineup, people were just like, "Oh my gosh, can you not get normal size girls? Look how skinny all of these girls are." And I think it was like Sophie Piper that they were talking about, and I was like, "Bro, like I'm skinnier than Sophie Piper. So what are they going to be like? Oh, she's too skinny, like all of this and that." So I was worried about being too skinny. I was worried about being too dark, because usually they're like the black girls don't get picked. So I obviously knew what I'm doing, why I'm going in there. And then I get in there and I pleasantly have a really easy journey. I feel like mine is so different in comparison to most girls that have gone in there, because I came in at Casa Amor, which is probably one of the hardest positions to come in.
Survive.
Bruh. So me even coming out of the house, I'm like, I'll bust. I didn't expect to come out of it. But going in there, Mike had just broken up with Leanne, and she got evicted. She left the house. So he was a free man, which was amazing for me. And as soon as we got in the house, like we were day one, day two, we were locked in. Like everyone was like, "Yep, you lot you're on the bus. You're going back to the main villa. Mum and dad at the villa." So I didn't have anything to worry about. And then when we went into the main house again, it was just smooth. Honestly, it was smooth sailing. It's like, I found my man. That's it. All right. Let's just go along on this journey. I mean, there was a few hiccups in there when they tried to draw Mike out and all of that. But in terms of me, no one gave me wahala. Like, nobody minded me. I think the only thing I would say is from the outside looking in, when I looked at the footage, I feel like I didn't get as much coverage as I should have. Especially like with the story in Casa Amor. I feel like Molly's story, who was in the house, was my story, because me and Mike, we got on from day one, like we was like mum and dad, but they made it seem like Molly and Callum got on from day one. Molly, we had to force this girl to talk to Callum because she was Shukashuna. Like she was just like, I don't want to step on any toes. So it's not until like the very last 2 days when they finally talk, but they look like as if they hit off from the jump. And then in the story, they always got in the main villa now, they always got me to kind of be cheerleader wingman, to just be like, come on girls, do this, do that. So I'm always having conversations to like ginger all the girls. So I feel like a lot of that wasn't shown, but I'm not mad.
Yeah, I guess you kind of explain why, because these guys like drama, innit? They like the messy stuff, and that's what they're hoping happens, innit? But
exactly.
I completely understand where you're coming from. So Love Island's done now.
Yeah.
What has it been like coming out of Love Island? Because a lot of people want to know what that's like. Like coming out of Love Island, what's it like? People were like, there was some brand deals. And what's it like with the audience? Because I don't know if it was that bad then, but I feel bad for people in Love Island now, because the audience are literally watching to see if you get brand deals. It's mental.
It's bad, isn't it?
They'll say that 1 year no brand deals. It's crazy.
It's actually crazy. It's so mad. But again, my story, it wasn't your typical. Less than 3 weeks, the pandemic hit, was on lockdown. No brand deals. Even for the people that were outside. They're like, companies didn't know where they can put their money, because they didn't know how long everything was happening.
Yeah.
But my only blessing in that was, for those who ain't working, for those who ain't actually got talent, you were able to separate yourselves real quick. So I was lucky, because who would have been my competition for just being pretty or for just being the blueprint was no longer in that pond, because they actually weren't grafting.
Yeah.
So it did work in my benefit, because in those first 3 weeks, I can't lie, I came out and I did get that. I got a few of that, because a lot of people were having hashtag ads, and I was just like, why aren't we seeing hashtag ad on Priscilla's page? But it wasn't like it was more like they were concerned. They were just like,
they were like, why isn't Priscilla?
Yeah,
like,
why
what
ain't
you
Priscilla
doing?
getting it?
Yeah.
Because I said at first, like, I feel like they weren't checking for me. Like brands, a lot of people weren't checking for me. But I just got in my head quickly, I need to remind people exist. And my agent, like my manager, she was so sick. Like they would just go out and be like, hey, this is Priscilla. So we just had to take it into our own hands.
Yeah, taking it to your own time.
What happened to your socials? So did you go from like, what were you on before you went in? What did you come out on? Did it carry on going? Like, what was the social side of things?
So I was on 9K when I went in. I came out on 50. So I'm not actually mad at it. I think when you come out, you'll be like, oh, okay. When you look at everybody else, and some people are on 1 million followers and nonsense. And I'm like, But what I can say is everything after that was organic growth.
Yeah.
And it shows that people were really coming to check for me. So I wasn't necessarily mad at it. I think at first I was just like,
yeah,
this is not the plan. Run up those numbers real quick. But yeah, we made it make sense, and it grew slowly but surely. And yeah, we just pray it continues to grow because we need those deals.
Absolutely.
We need more bread and butter.
come on. I think that what you mentioned about the numbers is super important because sometimes it's the quality of your followers as well. People that ride for you. It's like having like relatively, because relatively is the word that we need to use, relatively smaller number, but they ride for you is super important. And I'm very much so like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I think that you having not as many as you thought you would have when you come out is actually good for you because you're a grafter. So it's like, all right, I'm going to take it to my own hands.
I don't want to be God's strongest soldier, please.
I hear you. I hear you. But Iman's no, it was you that said it. Sometimes you have to be willing to go out there and get it yourself.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And having the ability to do that, sometimes you need to have practiced. You need to have done it. And I know that for sure, innit? Because there was a period whereby it was like, don't get me wrong, I do property as well. But on if I'm separating the businesses from a influencer or content creator perspective, it's like you realize one day you can't just wait for brands to come.
Oh no,
can't just wait. Like man needs to do stuff that is proactive. Like go out there. I've been saying to loads of people now, like in this life, you can't just wait to be given. You have to take. You have to be in the taking mode all the time, basically.
Yeah.
But I hear you about God's strongest
Soldier. Yeah,
No,
like,
but, yeah, definitely. Especially when you've been on the same. Imagine you're on the same show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody that was on the same television show as you is on 1 million. Like,
I genuinely wonder what that comes from because a lot of the time, like, okay, let's just say that when it comes to brand deals in particular, a lot of the time, let's call it what it is. They'll go for the white people, the white blonde girl.
Yeah.
There's even an order: white women, white men next, and then it'll probably be
black women,
black
men in that whole brand space. I'm sorry, men in the branding space, you lot struggle as it is.
Yeah,
unless you're Ovi.
Unless you're Ovi, yes. Unless you're Ovi. But because you lot don't have all you lot have is Boohoo Man and Fitness.
It's true, isn't it?
That
it's
is
true.
it.
Because it's consumerism, right? That's what brands and women consume. That's powerful.
Exactly that. But what I wanted to say is the reason why I don't get the follower one is that a lot of the Love Island culture now is governed by black people. So what is it? And enough of us watch it. So if it's just a decision to follow, what is it? Is it that enough of us ain't following or?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the following. Enough of us isn't following. It also is dependent on when you come in. A lot of people, you'll see the starting lineup have the most followers.
Yes.
It's the story, right?
It's the story.
Yeah.
It's the story. The more coverage you get,
the
more followers you're gonna get. Because I had some people that came to me in Castlemore, they didn't even get seen. Like they'll say they're in Love Island. People was like, huh? Where? So it's literally all about that. But when it comes down even to the brands, it's like, as much as it's like, yeah, you've done this organic growth, when you're compared to people, like, as you said, it's the same show. So a brand will look at you like, you was in the same show, why has this person got more than you? You can't say, oh, because they're shown more.
Yeah.
Like, are people not effing with you? Like, well, go on here.
Yeah.
I think I'm just blessed enough, like, when it comes to that situation, I'm like, I'm not a Love Islander. Take me out of that situation. Look at my network. Look at everything I've done. This is my value. Don't hold my value just because I was from that show.
Yeah.
And I don't have as much followers.
And I would feel like you've like transcended Love Island massively as well. Like I feel like people.
So.
No, I genuinely feel that people see you, they don't think Love Island. Like
Facts.
Like, it's not one of the first things that come to mind. But I'm gonna ask one more Love Island question. Yeah? Do you still watch it?
Here
I've
and
got a
there.
follow-up question if you do.
Here and there.
Okay,
But
cool.
I didn't watch Love Island before I went on it.
That's fine.
Like, literally.
That's
so
fine.
I didn't even know what I was signing up for, if I'm being honest. They was like, do you mind being a bombshell? I was like, of course I don't mind being a bombshell. If I had known, I would have said, no, put me in from the start. But I literally didn't know what I was signing up for. But you can still ask me to follow up. I'm curious now.
Yeah. So do you ever watch it? Yeah. You see people on there, you think that you've got no strategy. Like, have you not watched this show before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because people move bad. Like, they leave
Absolutely.
themselves uncoupled, like, for like 2 weeks by choice. It's like the game is
Absolutely.
to have as much screen time as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think just going on TV in general, don't go on TV and sit there.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Absolutely.
What you need to position yourself, brand positioning, please. Know what you're doing. Like, even like clothing, all of that. Know what you're doing when you're going in there. Even shout if you have to. If it's on brand for you, shout, please.
So after Love Island, you've come out now.
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of done a few bits and pieces. You've got back into presenting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How did that come about? Did you have to actively go out there? Did you have like a game plan? Because there's a lot of people that want to be a presenter, right? They want to be in front of camera. Did you have to do a lot of self-funded presenting, or maybe tapping into your network? Because sometimes people are, they've got a network, but they don't feel like tapping into it because it may come across too beggy.
No, you
Beggy's
gotta
killing
beg.
our people.
I'm not gonna like that. Yeah, feeling like a beg is killing our people. We need to remove that whole thing of pride, like shame. No, sometimes please beg, not necessarily, not please, but yeah. I think so. With the presenting, I feel like out of everything I've done in life, it's one of the hardest things I've tried to achieve. Simply because you have to be a people's person, and when someone finds that one person they can trust, they want to run with it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, who's this new person? That's no, like, this person's perfect. That's why you see people doing jobs. The Maya's doing it, AJ's, the Clara's, like, they become familiar. That's what it is. You want to feel that warm feeling. You want to feel like, oh, that's that person I know. So trying to break into that industry has definitely been one of the hardest things. I have leaned on my network a lot. Like, I would just be like, hey guys, always, like, if I see anyone doing anything, I'm like, hey, yeah, like, I could do this, by the way. Like, do you need a presenter for that? Even like the other day, I think, who reached out, Wretch has a new project that's coming out. And I'm like, okay, I literally said to him, if you're doing a campaign for a project, you're probably going to do a listening party, and you'll need someone to do the Q&A. So, hi. Like, when you come to that section, have me in mind.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily begging, but you do need to just put yourself to the front of people's minds, because life, as hard as it is, I'm not thinking about this person that I don't ever see or doesn't come up on my feed because of the algorithm. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like we need to not take it personal, because sometimes you think, oh, this person's forgotten me or they don't remember me. The algorithm is not showing you, and life is too hectic for me to be remembering Pat from down the road. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you're not in my community, in my circle, in my anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think definitely leaning on your community, and also invest in yourself. And when I say invest in yourself, I mean do that free job if it makes sense. Like, there's been jobs that I'm just like, I need to show people that I can actually do this, because I can say I'm a presenter for however much I want, but if you haven't seen me present, how you gonna trust me to do the job? Yeah. So if someone has a job and I'm like, do you know what? I don't mind. It sounds like a good opportunity. Let me do it, or reduce the fee.
This sounds mad to me. Do you know who you are?
Yeah, but do you know what it is? But now I can charge that because I've done that.
I hear you. It's true, and it's true. We've all had to do it, but it's like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, like, it's
you're like,
crazy. Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
you're proven. Like, you're.
Yeah. This industry will test you. Boy. They make you think, rah. But no, I've done 1 or 2 free jobs, and sometimes I think it's knowing who's genuine, because someone will be like, oh, there's no budget. Don't come to me when there's no budget. That I'm not doing.
Yeah.
But if it's like a genuine, like a small business, but I do a lot of give backs as well.
Of course.
For example, who do I do? There's 2 things that I do. Sorority Club, Step Up Sorority. They do it's just a group of black girls where they do like this little panel once a year, get everyone together. It's with Joe Malone. And I just host it. Literally, I'm just like, yeah, it's my one little give back. That's fine.
Nice. Yeah.
And then a woman called Marie, absolutely amazing. She has I grew up with her because I used to volunteer as a youth worker at the youth club that she owns. So they have a peace concert, and I was like, of course, like I'll give you my day. Use me however you want. Like whether I'm hosting on stage, doing backstage interviews, just use me. So yeah. What was my point?
The free thing.
The free thing, yeah. No, don't take the piss though. Don't no. You also got to know your worth, because there has been people that'll be like, oh, we can only pay you this.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. But if it makes sense, like, you lot don't know, press junkets don't pay. You know, all of these ones where the new movies and all of that, they don't pay. But if you see me interviewing, I don't know, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. So I'm going to go do that press junket.
Yeah. No, that kind of makes sense. And I think even with my work, like, I mean, the news doesn't pay like what television would pay in it. They pay you like basically something to come get you a little sandwich.
Get you there in it, yeah.
To come on as expert. I want to talk about podcasting, because you had a podcast, Spotify original, at a time where people were getting Spotify originals, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
They put us together.
Okay.
Yeah, so
kind of like a Simon Cowell
girl
group thing.
It was in the works for probably about 2 years until we got over the line.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who put you together
2
then?
years. So there's a wonderful lady called Nicole Logan. She was at
They're gonna
Reduce.
blow up her LinkedIn.
Yeah. She's done now. That's it.
That's it. It's over.
She was at a place called Reduce Listening, but now she's got a even better, bossier role now. Not at Reduce Listening, but somewhere else. So she came up with the whole concept, nailing it. She pitched it to Spotify, and then her and Spotify came up with a list of girls and put us together. And Nailing It was born.
Nice. And
There was Sayo.
Yeah, with Sayo and Wumi.
Yeah.
Wumi Bello.
yeah. And what does that look like when it's a Spotify original? Does that, because a lot of podcasters, like, it will be three man linking up, going, no, it's true, going studio, driving bare far, going studio in East or something, paying for it. Yeah. Trying to build it from nothing. What does a Spotify original from the off actually look like? Is it, do they pay for your studio time?
I mean,
Is
it's
it
a great
beautiful
place
studio?
to be. Yeah.
Do they pay you? Like, what's it like?
So they pay us per episode.
Nice.
Obviously they cover marketing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
they cover studio.
Fantastic.
They do everything.
Where
We
did
just
you
turn
shoot?
up.
Was it questions, scripts? This.
So our one is, we had segments.
Okay.
So because it was all about nails, we was in a nail shop.
Okay.
So I put on my nail shop, and I was like, oh, I know this amazing nail place. Use this nail shop, and it was black owned, so I loved it. So yeah, and then they used my nail tech to do the nails.
Oh, nice.
So that was great, and it was 2 minutes from my house. So everyone was like, "You're a big Gino," and I was like, "Mate,
Yes, I am.
mate, you gotta plug yourself. If you don't, you'll be trekking 2 hours to come and shoot." But it was my own 2 minutes. Yeah, no. So they basically take care of absolutely everything, and whilst that is fantastic, like it's an absolute dream, it could also be a nightmare. So you've got to think about it, because there's opportunities that come in, but we have to run it through Spotify. We can't just take it on. And now that it's ended, Nailing It still belongs to Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, even if we wanted to do it, we can look at maybe getting it licensed, but that's us licensing it off them.
Yeah.
So it has its blessings, but it also has its curses. But I think it was an amazing time, and I enjoyed literally every second of it.
Why did it come to an end? It's interesting to know from a business perspective.
From a business perspective, I think they took on too much in that year. Like they had the Kim K, they had the Kate and Will, and I think some of those didn't make such great return, so they had to kind of let some of us go. Unfortunately.
What was it like? Because obviously I know Sarah, she's amazing. Like the three of you, obviously Wumi, I've heard about obviously what she's done and stuff. Like the three of you in a room together, you must have learned so much and shared so much and conversation. Did you find it like help grow and build and so forth? And because everyone's got different styles and different skills that they bring to the conversation.
I think it was like we all had like little different roles. Like if you ever are around Shayo, you just know how much her energy fills the room.
Yeah.
And you know when they say girls ain't funny?
She's
that girl is hilarious.
Without even trying.
Without trying. And her English. If I learn anything, I learn English. Because the words she will come up with, I'm just like, how are you so articulate? It's crazy. I think because I'm older than both of them, I kind of took like a more maternal route. Like I was a bit more serious. Like, did you listen? Because Wumi's very forgetful. She'll be in the room. We're all giving the same information, but Wumi, it would not go into her brain, and she's always late. Yeah, but I do think us being in that room, and it was always 3 different perspectives, and I think it was a trio that people didn't ever see coming, because I knew Wumi, because I've known Wumi for years, like since around uni times, and then with Shayo I've seen her around, but I didn't actually know her. So like Wumi was the group, because Wumi knew Shayo and I knew Wumi, which worked out well. But yeah, I think it was just having all these different perspectives, these different ages. We're not that far off. I think we're just like 1 or 2 years in between each other. But it was just a good conversation every time. And I think it's because sometimes it wasn't just about your typical subject. Sometimes we would talk about finance, we would talk about religion, we would talk about all these different things. So I think it was a great balance.
Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. And it's nice to have done it. Like Iman said, like I think that even from the outside looking in, just to have like that, like I love collaboration, innit?
Yeah.
So to have like 3 women that are killing it in their individual spaces come together and create something, it was just amazing to see, man. So big you lot up, man.
Thank you.
So other than your recent Sky Sports project that you've been working on, is there anything that you're working on at the moment? Any exclusives for the Bread and Butter podcast, you know?
Oh my gosh, do I have exclusives? I don't think I have exclusives. We're trying to get it recommissioned, because that was just a pilot.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it recommissioned so we can do, I don't know, maybe skydiving, F1, dirt bike, whatever. I'm just trying to go as far as possible with it. And also just trying to delve deeper into the world of women in sports.
Yeah.
I kind of like where I'm sitting at the moment.
It's
So
massive right now.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I think
so even doing stuff like around sports relief or anything like that, that's the kind of direction that I really want to head down. I think, so I'm just trying to build up that whole thing. But right now it's just pushing the show.
Yeah. No, I think it's an
the show
amazing
heavy.
space to be in. Your guy, Ian, right? I feel like he, you know me, I remember talking about strategy bag, but he had strategy, bro. When his, his granddaughters were born, gone into women's football. All he talks about is women's football. And like, now it's like, who else are you going to work with? Because he's championing it. So I think it's an excellent thing to champion right now. And one thing I'm just realizing now with Girls Are Playaz Too is that you can do every sport.
Every sport.
They must love that as well.
Oh, yeah.
They must be thinking, we can. Because they love it when they can repeat a format, innit? Make it fresh, but still repeat it. Like, you could do every sport, which is crazy.
Absolutely. And people have just been saying, like, they want to see me. Because in it, when I did it, we had to do, obviously, an establishing shot. Like, why is Priscilla doing this? And we had to go back. So I went back to my school. So that took out some time of me, like, seriously training. But people was like, I want to see you proper train. So, yeah, we'll go harder. But the format is there to literally do whatever we want.
If there was a sport that you could do next, what would it be?
Definitely F1.
Okay. Lit. That's actually lit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a couple women there like on it. Like I remember this woman from I think it's Mercedes. She's the backup driver, and she's like, so sick.
I have to be honest. I don't know any, so that's why I said sick. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because you'll be bringing it to the forefront.
Do you watch F1 though?
Yeah.
Not really. So that's probably
that's probably why.
Yeah.
Watch F1.
Yeah, and there's a sick person, Naomi. She's a serious person when she knows everything about F1.
Yes, the presenter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sick.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because I can't remember what it was. It was a Euro or World Cup, but there was one time where it felt like there was serious efforts to put marketing behind it, and that's when everyone was like, "Nah, do you know what? I'm watching it now, basically." And I think that's where things are going, and it needs to go that way. So I say that because to coincide having your own show alongside this kind of like light that's being shone on women's sports in general, it's an amazing place to be in.
And I think it's hard because I feel like the problem a lot of the time when we compare women's sport with men's sport, and that's why women's tennis is because it's they're really, really good. So you can watch it and not feel like the standards dropped or it's different. But it's a different, like when I watch women's football, I don't expect to see what I see from men's football. It's a different game. It's a different tactic. The way it works, the way they play is different. But if you look at the passing, it's probably more precise. It's more like, but in regards to the gameplay, the build up and so forth, like I feel like putting into women's sport now is so important because it's actually like we need to just respect it on its own. And rather than always comparing it to, men's do this or like, accept it as it is, and build on it and support it. Because like, especially I guess maybe now that I've got 2 daughters myself, I'm like, this is important. Like they need to feel like they can do this and not have to still go to work and not have to. There was women footballers not too long ago were struggling to have kids because there wasn't proper maternity pay. And you're thinking, that's crazy. Imagine your club saying, no, you know what, you can't have a baby right now. No, we need you for the season. Are you okay? Like, do you know what I mean? So these are things that are really important. And like, this is why now I'm so happy to see that just in the world in general, we're taking women's sport more serious.
I love that you highlighted that, because I think the reason why I did this was because we obviously want to shine a light on women's sports, but it's not because I'm trying to say, hey, like, look at us. Because I've had some backlash of guys being like, oh, this equality thing. And I'm like, this is not about equality. No. I just want women to be fit, take part in sports and be respected for it. Like, I'm not trying to say we are men.
Yeah.
I'm just saying girls are players too.
Yeah.
That's all. We exist too.
Yeah, love that.
So I love the fact that you highlighted that.
Yeah, amazing. Before we wrap up, there's one question I want to ask you. Yeah, where do you see Priscilla in 10 years' time?
That's crazy.
Claim it.
Come on.
I will be a household name.
Amen.
I definitely know that. And
You don't feel like you're a household name now?
no.
Okay, there's levels, because some of us just want to be like you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? And you want to be like someone else. It's life, isn't it? It's life.
No, I am not. I will get there though. I'm not. But yeah, no. And the thing about me is, like, I've pivoted so many times in my life. So I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years. But I just know everybody will know the name, even on a global scale.
Come on.
That's it.
That's it.
I love that.
You still want to do the modelling?
I barely model now.
You do some brand stuff, right?
Just about.
Yeah, I hear you. You don't enjoy it no more?
No, I do enjoy model. Do you know what it is? I don't enjoy this influencing thing.
Okay.
But I think it's because I've come from being a conventional model where I just go on set. I'm just the muse.
Yes.
But now I have to be the creative director, the model, the photographer, all of it. That's the part that I don't enjoy. I want to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Got you.
Like that.
Got you. Right. So one thing we always ask our guests is, can you give us a W and an L of your career or your journey, so the people can understand the highs and the lows? So, the cream or the crust, if you will.
Okay. The crust. My biggest L was, this is the part of, you said, investing in yourself and what you do as a presenter. So I recorded an online series called It's a Look, self-funded. Amazing concept. It was like a 3 out of 6 part series, and the hard drive got corrupted.
Oh gosh.
Money down the drain, footage down the drain, talent down the drain. Like, I had Victor Kunda, I had Unknown T on it, I had Chayo on it. Like, it was dope, but that went. And on my chest,
crazy.
Like, for a year, I needed a year to recover. Because I'm like, literally, I put all my money into this. Because as I said, as a presenter, you got to show what you can do. So I was like, this is my baby. This is how I'm going to show everybody what I can do. And yeah, so
that is, people don't get the grab. Bro, I recorded a YouTube video at home the other day for like 20 minutes. And I think the memory card, similar thing.
Yeah.
And I can still feel what that felt like. Yeah. So to think that you put your money behind it with talent.
And imagine how you enjoyed it.
You enjoyed
knew
it.
what it would have.
So good. Like, this was like
got all the episode 3.
I created like a whole set, everything. Money gone. Like,
But one lesson, one good thing, and that's something that we always tell people at home, is that don't wait for people to put you in places.
Yeah.
Like, put yourself in places,
Yeah.
and then they'll see you there and give you opportunities. So, like you said, I want to be a presenter. Let me not wait for a show. Let me show them what I can do, because I still have Instagram, I still have YouTube. I can still put this out there.
Exactly.
And use the friends, the network that I have around me, do you know what I mean? And show them what I can do. So the mindset is great.
The mindset is fantastic. The pocket was broke. But
That is so funny.
It's facts. W.
And the cream W, I would say hosting the red carpet at the BT Awards 2023.
Oh, that's amazing,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
What was that like? UGC?
Oh, I saw everybody. I saw Fat Joe. I saw Kid and Play. I saw Mary J. Blige. I saw Bow Wow.
How does it happen? Tell us, because people want to know. Like, is this your agent pitch to you? Did they just come and say we're thinking of using you? Like, how does this happen?
No. So at the beginning, it always ends up happening around July. So in my head, I was strategically positioning myself. So I was having conversations at the beginning of the year, like around January, with BET, and it was just like, hey, I'd really love to come out and do this, all of that sort of stuff, but they needed funding. At that time, we tried to get a bit of funding, it didn't happen. So I thought, okay, it's not gonna happen. Absolutely not. But now I'm already in their head, obviously, for it to happen. And then I would say like a week before the award show, they was just like, are you available? We want to fly you in. We want to do it. And then the rest was history. Crazy. But what had actually happened off the back of that is, I think about a month or 2 months before that, I was like, I give up. I'm not presenting. Wow. Like, I'm tired. I was like, I am so tired. I'm over this. Like, as you said, I've been putting myself there time and time again. I was like, God, like, I know like my head is strong and I know I'm great, but my flesh has had enough. Because from when I've started dancing, from when I'm doing all of these things, I'm like, this is me 11 years in this game. Like, something's got to give. And if it's not giving, boy, let me just pack my bag right now before I invest any more years. And yeah, and then a month, 2 months later, I'm in Hollywood on the red carpet.
And what is there pressure like? Do they give you a script? Like, because it seems so natural, like when people come, do you have to have already worked out questions? Do you have to have scanned, like, I remember one movie I was watching and the personal assistant had to scan everyone's face to know who's who, to tell the person who the person was. Like, because obviously you're UK. You're not going to know every artist.
And I did not. But luckily, so what happens is you will have a producer there. So the PR, the publicist, or whoever who's with the artist will come to the producer and they'll have a quick chat. So they'll kind of tell them, oh, are they working on any projects? Is there anything that they want us to highlight? And they'll come and tell me like, oh yeah, this is Bow Wow. Okay. He's just done so-and-so. Go.
Okay.
And then in terms of going, when we're going, we're like, obviously it was 50 years of hip hop. So everything was kind of centered around hip hop. So it's like, what does hip hop mean to you? What does it mean to be on this stage? Yeah. So it was a lot more easier. But I remember the main exec producer, he was like, I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you because it was such a big production that day. But it was like, well done for actually doing what you need to do. So sometimes you just have to just wing it. So it's also being able to, you know, think on your feet. But once you get like the flow of things, it's okay.
Yeah.
But and it's also a challenge because I interviewed Summer Walker and Little Meech. Those people don't speak.
I was going to say, I'm not surprised Summer Walker doesn't speak anyway.
They don't speak. So imagine you're like, oh my gosh, BET Awards, how you feeling? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can't ask you mad questions. So I was like, what can I do? So I said, in one word, tell me. Yeah, that's what you have to do.
I said, I'm going to get one word. So I'm going to act like we do this one word on purpose.
I'm going to do this. So I'm like, in one word, describe the atmosphere right now. Like, just things like that. So you have to know how to, like,
Where did you learn that?
I was going to ask, on Iman's question, I was literally going to ask you next. Let the people tap into your expertise. When you're speaking to celebrities, what are your go-tos? Where did you learn it, first of all, on Iman's question? But what are your go-tos? Do you do things that, do you intentionally maybe massage their ego? Or do you recall something that they did recently? Like, I saw you on blah, blah, blah.
I think one thing I do know is you either go or you don't.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you can work to perfect it, but I feel like you're either a natural at it or you're a bit awkward. Like, some people are just good on camera or they're not. But you can always improve your skill. Like, as I said, Harriet's sick and I'm like, I need to step up and do more of that. And I think naturally watching TV growing up, you pick up things like watching the 106 in Parks and all of that. You kind of pay attention to all of their conversations. And I'm a radio girly. Like, my mum never turned off the radio unless we were leaving the house. So I was always like hearing presenters and things like that. So I'll just try it. Like, as a kid growing up, like, oh, just faking this. But I don't think I've ever really been like, I think I've just naturally known like how to just think on my feet. And believe it or not, I'm actually quite a shookhead. So I don't talk to people often. unless I'm working. Like I've always said, I'm good at my job.
so
Yeah, that's
jokes.
mad, isn't it?
Like I say, I'm really good at my, like I'm that low maintenance friend. Like I'm probably not gonna call you. Like we're not gonna, unless there's something going on, we're probably not gonna call. It's something that I have to work on though, because you need to keep.
Yeah.
Like I care about you guys. I love you guys. But yeah, I'm naturally should care. Like if it's me and my brother, I'll be like, Jonathan, can you ask them to do this for me? Can you, like, I don't. So I think it's more of, it's a challenge and a goal that every time I do it, I'm like, well done, you did that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Look, Priscilla, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
It's been amazing.
It's been an amazing episode, man. So many gems there.
Where should they, tell them where to find if they want to go and watch the show playback or what?
Oh
what to
yes,
do.
if you want to watch the show, it is on Sky Demand on Sky Sports, or you can just go onto the Sky Sports YouTube, Sky Sports Boxing YouTube.
Okay.
And find it there and
Yeah,
stream it. And
stream,
it.
and it's called Girls with a Z and Playaz PLAYAZ. Oh, Girls with a Z and Playaz PLAYAZ.
And guys, if you're enjoying it, leave a comment while you're watching it as well, man. People always forgetting to comment.
Comment,
They'll
please.
save their comment till they see you in person.
Innit?
Please put it on the something there as well,
Yeah,
man.
man.
And let them know where they can find your socials. But of course, you don't need to do
No,
that.
Oh yeah,
the socials,
Priscilla
like-
Anyabu underscore Priscilla Anyabu everything. You know it is.
Guys, that's been the Bread About podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, comment, please, subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Blessings.
Peace.